Napa's an easy place to settle into a more relaxed pace of life, but with a week off the bike and a bit of strength training and wine tasting under my belt, I was keen to try my hand with a max effort attempt, or two, up one of the county's longer climbs, Atlas Peak Road. 9 miles, varying gradients, and some spectacular views of the valley. And of course, in between the luxury of having a mountain climb almost to myself, there was plenty of time to continue the post-ride nutrition in the local wineries. This marks the start of the Atlas Peak climb. It's 9 miles, circa 14 kilometres in terms of distance, i.e. similar to Alpe d'Huez, but it isn't as steep. It averages 4%, albeit it's a bit steeper at the beginning. And my intent here is really to have a practice run and try and get a nice, consistent, even power down throughout the climb. So clearly, the top of Atlas Mountain is not exactly a World Heritage Site. So I've cycled down 100 metres or so just to wrap up in a much more picturesque setting. Now, if you want to get onto the top 20 on the Strava men's leaders board, you need a time of 36 minutes or better, i.e. super fast. And again, it's very quick for the ladies with a time of 42 to 44 minutes to get into the top 1 or 2. So overall, I'm relatively happy with 44 minutes as a base for my time, i.e. give or take, a few seconds to get the stopwatch in and out of the pocket and start it and stop it, etc. But clearly I have a lot to do to improve. I need to go much harder in the final third. I think I burnt myself out a little bit much in the first 2/3. And also I did this fasted, and I think when I go for my hard climb, I'm going to fuel up. It sure does taste good. And always room for a cheeky little dessert. Frog's Leap Winery, venue for chapter 2 of post-ride nutrition, probably not in the style of David Miller. I say probably because it is extraordinarily velvety and smooth. And also, it has my 5-a-day fully covered. Frog's Leap Cabernet Sauvignon. It's harvested early, so it's low in sugar and therefore healthy. The best. It may well be the case that it's harvested a tad earlier and therefore is a little bit lower in alcohol and sugar. But it's certainly gone to my head, not the best idea for post-ride nutrition. Hashtag can't handle my wine. Unable to handle my wine and not willing to accept my time. If it's worth doing once, then it's definitely worth doing twice, but hopefully a hell of a lot faster. I'm at the start of the Atlas Peak mountain climb. It's 9 miles, average 4 to 4.5 degrees incline. It's steep at the beginning, lessens off in the middle, and it's steep again at the end. Looking to beat my last time of 44 minutes. We're going to beat 44 minutes. With precision, I start the stopwatch and set off hard up the climb, cunningly eschewing the big ring in favour of its little brother. And that's a good idea, because very quickly the gradient ramps up and I'm up and out the saddle, pressing hard on the pedals to try and sustain the momentum. It's a climb of many different segments, both in terms of gradient, road quality, and as you can see here, also beauty. It's very pretty during the bottom third of the climb. Not that you can enjoy it, because your heart rate's going through the roof as you encounter the steep gradients for the first time. As the climb flattens off in the middle third, unfortunately, so does the beauty. And that's because this is the part of the mountain that was ravaged by the fires back in 2018. Fear not, because as the gradients ramp back up in the final third, normal service is resumed, and once again, beauty is restored. One of the nice things about riding on the climbs in Napa is that the locals seem to have a very low propensity to venture up these winding roads in their Ford F40s and Dodge Rams, etc. And that's a great thing from the perspective of the cyclist, because it means that we can focus on getting down nice, even delivery of power. And as we encounter the middle third of the climb and the gradient tails off, unfortunately, so does the quality of the tarmac. It's all very un-American and cracked and bumpy and uneven. However, it does represent a splendid opportunity to get up into the big ring, apply some speed, but also to pamper the heart a little for some recovery. As you can hear from the breathing and see from the shadow on the road with me standing out the seat, I'm working real hard here and I'm going for the best time I possibly can. And I'm also trying to not get too disheartened by the fact that suddenly the peak has come into view and I can see that it's still quite a long way to go and quite a bit higher. Morning. So I reckon when all's said and done and you take about 20 seconds off for all the faffing around at the beginning and the very end in terms of getting my camera in and out, that was around about a 43:30 time to make the ascent this time, which is only about 40 to 50 seconds quicker than early on this week when I completed the Atlas Peak mountain climb in around about, I guess, 44:20, that kind of time. That's notwithstanding the fact that I actually carved up a bit this time, and I was kind of hoping for probably a bit quicker, but overall pretty solid. It was another really good threshold effort. And I guess in all honesty, I'm still getting used to riding without all the data in front of me and having to kind of base my exertion and how much energy I'm expending on perceived effort, i.e. how heavily I'm breathing, how easily I'm able to maintain a nice, smooth, fluid cadence in what I reckon is about the 85 to 95 range. And so overall, you know, reasonably happy to have banked that nice threshold effort there. And then of course on the descent, the 9-mile descent, A, I got plenty of recovery, and B, you'll have seen of course that yeah, my bike handling skills are somewhat agricultural and certainly need a bit of improvement. But having had that recovery, I decided that I wanted to drain the tank a little bit on the nice undulating terrain, with a bit of a VO2 max effort, which lasted in the end about 6.5 minutes. So overall, those two kind of components of the training today, yeah, they felt good, and I'm quite happy to have banked them both. So this is a bounty hunter. It does barbecue Napa Valley style. So you've got all your normal pulled porks, ribs, meats, steaks, chicken and all that kind of stuff. But also, you can pair them with a lovely little flight of tasting wines, like that. Check out these pork ribs. Too good to miss out on. As everybody knows, ribs and big cabs are indeed a match made in heaven.